cases where I've done pre-scoring, like when I did Troll, there was a whole song, and so I did that way before the actual filming, because they needed certain things for the filming. But in this case, this wasn't the case with ReAnimator. I remember distinctly the very first time that I saw anything, it was just Stuart and I in a screening room, and this was a first cut, so you have to understand first cuts are usually notoriously long, but this was beyond notoriously long. I think the first cut was something like
2.5
a little over 2.5
everything
hours.
that Stuart
Exactly. It was crazy. So Stuart, I noticed that he kept looking over to me while we were looking at this first cut, and he tell, I wish he were alive because he could tell the story better than I, but he would look over and then he would see me, you know, really concentrating, and then I would close my eyes, and then he'd look over, and he thought I was in deep thought and all this. The reality is that this thing was so fucking long. It just put me to sleep. It put me to sleep. So he never let me live that down. But eventually, when it got to its proper
86 minutes,
yeah,
with billing.
With billing, right? So it's roughly almost 90 minutes. Then it was a whole other film. But in the case of ReAnimator, I really after that first long cut, that's when I actually started thinking about what this needed and discussing it with Stuart, and that's when the juices started really flowing. But even with that long, I mean, I could see the dynamics that were called for in this film, and it became a lot clearer over the following several weeks when they were doing the final editing and all that. But that's kind of was the dynamic at that point.